ऑलराइट, शुरू करें।
हाँ जी।
मीटिंग ओवर।
यस, मीटिंग ओवर।
ओके, ग्रेट। तो बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग चैप्टर है। ऑलराइट, शुरू करें। मेरी ही आवाज आ रही है, जस्ट मिनट।
हाँ जी।
मीटिंग ओवर।
यस, मीटिंग ओवर।
ग्रेट। तो बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग चैप्टर है। ऑलराइट, शुरू करें। ओके, तो आपने ये रीड किया है क्या अभी?
नहीं, ये रीड तो नहीं किया है।
ओके, इसको ऐसे समझते हैं कि जैसे हम डिफरेंट तरह के लोगों से मिलते हैं टाइम टू टाइम। कई बार हमारी मीटिंग्स ऐसी होती है कि क्या है क्या अभी, कुछ लोगों से मिलके हमें इरिटेशन होती है। तो ऐसा कब कब होता है?
नहीं, ये रीड तो नहीं किया है।
ओके, इसको
आई थिंक कुछ एको आ रहा था या
हाँ हाँ हाँ, अभी भी आ रहा है।
नहीं, अब नहीं आ रहा।
ओके, तो मतलब व्हाट काइंड ऑफ पीपल यू वुड लाइक टू अवॉइड मीटिंग और यू वुड लाइक टू मीट?
आई थिंक कुछ एको आ रहा था या
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, यस।
जिनका वेवलेंथ मैच नहीं हो रहा हो बहुत ज्यादा। जब भी कॉन्वर्सेशन हो तो टसल जैसे लगता है कि अच्छा, व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू कम्युनिकेट और दूसरा कुछ और ही समझ रहा हो। तो वी वुड आई वुड वांट टू अवॉइड हैविंग कॉन्वर्सेशन।
ओके, तो ऑथर का काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग कॉन्टेक्स्ट है। उनका कहना है कि अगर वो किसी से मिलते हैं और वो अनडिवाइडेड अटेंशन नहीं देते, तो ऑथर इसके लिए बहुत ही अगेंस्ट है। वो कह रहे हैं जीरो डिस्ट्रैक्शन पॉलिसी। और बहुत अच्छे से उन्होंने एक कॉन्टेक्स्ट में इसको रखा है कि वाई शुड वी अडॉप्ट ए जीरो डिस्ट्रैक्शन पॉलिसी। तो उसको हम समझते हैं। तो इसमें हम शुरू से रीड करने के बजाय यहाँ से शुरू करेंगे, जो ज़्यादा रिलेवेंट है।
ओके।
यहाँ से। तो इसमें उन्होंने क्या बताया है अभी कि जब वो मॉनेस्ट्री में थे,
हम्म।
तो जब वो अपने गुरु के पास जाते थे, उनके पास बैठते थे, तो उन्होंने बिहेवियर मॉडलिंग से ये सीखा उनसे कि हाउ टू पे अनडिवाइडेड अटेंशन टू समवन। तो कह रहे हैं कि मैंने वहाँ इतने सालों तक ये सीखा, तो मैंने फिर अपनी डॉटर के साथ भी ये किया। तो फिर क्या हुआ वो पढ़ते हैं, 2 decades लेटर।
ओके। Shall I read?
यस।
2 decades later, having left monastic life, I find myself on a picnic blanket with my daughter at Shiva Ashram. our spiritual sanctuary, and botanical gardens in Costa Rica. Sunlight filtering onto us through the light, bright green, doubly pinnate leaves of a royal poinciana tree as we enjoy a croissant and some juice. She's 3 years old but has had my undivided attention in every engagement from the day she was born. How, after countless experiences of receiving my guru's undivided attention, could I not give that same experience to her? I know it changed my life in so many ways, and I was irrefutably convinced it would change hers as well. I have made it a point in my life to give the people I am with my undivided attention, from my spouse and family to employees, friends, and more. Giving someone my undivided attention is one of the highest forms of love and respect that I can express to them.
तो इस पॉइंट पे थोड़ा सा पॉज लेते हैं। तो इसको ऑथर ने बार बार हाईलाइट किया है कि गिविंग समवन माय अनडिवाइडेड अटेंशन इज वन ऑफ द हाईएस्ट फॉर्म्स ऑफ लव एंड रेस्पेक्ट दैट आई कैन एक्सप्रेस टू देम। तो
Hmm.
आपका कोई एक्सपीरियंस इस बारे में, या डू यू एग्री विद दिस कम्प्लीटली?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
जी, तो आगे बढ़ते हैं। व्हेन आई गिव।
When I give you my undivided attention, I am telling you that all of the people and things in this world that I can give my finite time and energy to, I have made the conscious choice to give you my most precious resources. I'll read this again. When I give you my undivided attention, I am telling you that all of the people, that out of probably all of the people and things in this world that I can give my finite time and energy to, I have made the conscious choice to give you my most precious resources. I am saying that I care about you and that you matter to me, and that's what you have to say is of significant and that what you have to say is of significance to me. When I give you my undivided attention, I am also telling you that I value your finite time and energy. I am acknowledging that I am conscious that you made the choice as well to give me two of your most precious resources. Two, acha, time and energy. So I have been on the both sides. On the end where uh, I have probably not given, I am busy and my son comes and says, Acha, mama, I am asking, I have been there as well. And now consciously I give time, I hold on, stop whatever I'm doing, and then listen to whatever he has to say. So that changes everything. The conversation itself, uske baad following whatever happens also, it changes. Even if he is asking for some suggestions, okay, what should I do now? I don't know, I'm getting bored. So even for that, if I am busy and I am not giving okay, you can do this, you can do that. So in that, the kind of response comes from the other person, from him, is has been different. And when I have changed that approach, it has been different.
यस, ओके, आगे बढ़ते हैं।
When someone is speaking to you, give them your undivided attention. How do you do this? You do this by keeping your awareness on them. If your awareness, that glowing ball of light, drifts away, then gently and lovingly bring it back to them. If it drifts away again, bring it back to them again. Keep doing this until your awareness is trained to stay on one thing without moving. This is how you practice concentration. This is how you learn to give someone your undivided attention. Giving someone your undivided attention is truly one of the highest forms of love and respect that you can express to them.
सौरभ जी, वुड यू लाइक टू रीड?
Sure. Zero tolerance for distraction. Around 2 millennia ago, the South Indian weaver sage Tiruvalluvar eloquently encapsulated the impermanence of all things in this aphorism. Though it seems a harmless gauge of time, to those that fathom it. A day is a saw steadily cutting down the tree of life. When a person can fully own the fact that their life is finite and that all life has a clear, definitive end to it, then adopting a zero tolerance policy for distraction becomes an obvious decision. Time is a boon gifted to all of us, but how we choose to use it depends solely on us. Establishing a zero tolerance policy for distraction is an act of reverence for the precious time that has been bestowed on us. It is also a demonstration of our love for who and what matters in our life, for when we surrender a minute of our life to acts of distraction. We have consequently deprived all that we love, including ourselves, of that minute.
Yeah, anything, words of wisdom you would like to add from your side?
No words of wisdom as such, but I personally experience whenever we are not giving full attention or getting distracted by any sort of distractions, when we are spending time with our loved ones, it they are surely able to feel it, and I can totally relate to what he says about his daughter because my daughter is also like 2.5 years old, and I sometimes feel that I'm spending too much time on her because she always craves that attention. So yeah, that I can understand and relate to that, and giving that attention really makes a lot of difference to the way she feels, the love and connection that she feels.
Right. Okay, let us continue.
After deciding not to renew my monastic vows and making the decision to leave monastery in Hawaii, I made New York City my new home. A couple of years after moving into the city, I had a meeting with someone at a cafe in the city that I clearly recall. After taking our seats at a table, we placed our order with the waiter and got into a conversation. Every few minutes, he would reach over to his phone, which was on the table, and engage with it. This continued for a good 30 minutes, at which point I realized that I would never gain back any of my time that I was losing here watching him caress his phone, an act I had absolutely no interest in watching. So I said his name out loud in a firm tone to bring his awareness to the attention. Then I looked at him and said, one of the two things needs to happen right now. Either you put the phone away and no longer look at it, or we end the meeting and I'll leave. You constantly looking at your phone while we are in a meeting is an absolute waste of time and energy for me and quite disrespectful. I let you decide what you want to proceed. I could see from the reaction of his face that he was caught off guard. He quickly collected himself and humbly said, "You're right. I'm sorry for being so distracted. The meeting is important to me and I'll put my phone away and work at being completely present." It was that event that caused me to come up with a zero tolerance policy for distraction. Adopting this policy means having a courage to call out distractive behavior. This can and should be done in a kind but firm way. After all, what excuse do I have to not be kind? None at all. I have much work to do in fully integrating this policy into my life, and it is something I am working hard at doing, for with each passing year, my threshold for distraction is getting less and less. Most of people, if not all, that I spend regular time with know that I require their undivided attention. This is not coming from a place of needing attention, but rather a clear proclamation of the fact that I value my time and energy as I do theirs. I only have so many minutes in life. If you ask for a portion of those minutes, then please don't squander them.
तो क्या लग रहा है स्नेहा जी, कर सकते हैं ऐसा हम?
यस, एब्सोल्युटली।
ऐसा होता रहता है कभी कभी?
अभी तो नहीं होता है, बट हाँ, इट इज।
जी।
एंड स्पेशली व्हेन वी आर विद पीपल हु आर टॉकिंग context is which we are not interested in.
Hmm. Okay. Treat them.
Should I continue?
Yeah.
Treat them with the utmost respect by giving me your undivided attention, for that saw is steadily making its way through the tree of your life, tree of my life. As you start out by this path of unwavering focus, it's important that you inform the people closest to you that you are working on learning the art of concentration and that you are committing to being present in all your interactions. Furthermore, you can share with them that the reason you are doing this is because giving them your undivided attention is one way you have chosen to express to them how much you love and respect them. You will need to explain to them what being present means and how to go about doing that. You can share with them a few examples, one of which could be that in every interaction, you would prefer for them to put their phone away so that they can give each other an undivided attention.
ओके, तो अगर हम यहाँ तक थोड़ा रुकें, तो ऐसा क्यों होता है कि मतलब हम अनडिवाइडेड अटेंशन नहीं दे पाते चाह कर भी? कई बार ऐसा होता है, प्रैक्टिकली इसमें क्या बैरियर्स आ सकते हैं, मतलब डिस्पाइट हैविंग ऑल द गुड इंटेंशंस?
We feel someone else is willing to get that attention, so we are not able to prioritize at times someone who is messaging us, someone who is emailing us at that point in time. We feel that we also owe to respond to that particular person, but at the same time we are creating a distraction for the person maybe we are with in person right now.
जी, स्नेहा जी कुछ ऐड करना चाहेंगे?
Or we can have something else running in our mind, previous residue from some conversations or something else, which is not letting us be there totally.
और मल्टीटास्किंग?
Multitasking.
ओके, नेक्स्ट टॉपिक और भी बहुत ही अच्छा है, उसे भी देखते हैं। पावर ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेशन। स्नेहा जी आपसे शुरू करते हैं।
Okay. The power of observation. Observation is the first sign of the awakening of the superconscious mind. Observation is a byproduct of prolonged states of concentration. The more you concentrate, the more you develop the power of observation. If I go to the gym and consistently lift weights, I will naturally develop muscles. It is a natural byproduct of lifting weights. I will naturally develop muscle. Sorry, it's a natural byproduct of lifting weights. Similarly, the more you develop your ability to concentrate, the more observant you become. So, what is observation? One of the definitions of observation found in Merriam Webster's online dictionary is the act of careful watching and listening, the activity of paying close attention to someone or something in order to get information. My guru would often refer to observation as the mountaintop perspective. When you are on top of the mountain, you can be observant of everything down below.
ओके, इस बात का कनेक्शन माइंडफुलनेस के साथ भी है, और सौरभ जी हमारे माइंडफुलनेस एक्सपर्ट हैं, तो कुछ कहना चाहेंगे? माउंटेन टॉप पर्सपेक्टिव एंड माइंडफुलनेस।
Sorry, I just lost my attention for a bit. But yeah, from the mindfulness perspective, it's more about being, I mean, that being art of being in the present moment. While it's just a very small phrase, realizing what being in the present moment is and realizing the true power of it takes a really long time. Just the art of focusing on in breath and out breath can actually bring us to the utmost level of peace that we can experience in life, and that's a very big thing to realize and understand, and that simple thing is something which we cannot learn without actually experiencing it. And it's like Eckhart Tolle or various other mindfulness experts, the way they explain it, unless we experience that, all those words may look just very shallow or very high level. But when we experience it, we feel that this is the essence of life. We were missing so much by not being in the present moment.
So the thing which you shared about the in-breath and out-breath, so when did you realize it and how?
Maybe first time when I was reading the book Mindfulness in Plain English, and there is another book by Thich Nhat Hanh on mindfulness. So when I was reading through that, or rather listening to that audiobook, so the stillness with which he was speaking, both Eckhart Tolle and Thich Nhat Hanh, it was not Thich Nhat Hanh, but the audiobook narrator, but the stillness with which those words were coming, and the stillness with which I could actually practice that while they were speaking it. I could practice it, and while doing that, I could experience that inner stillness that we would experience in any other form of meditation at the most advanced stage. And by just doing that, for example, in Vipassana for entire 10 days, you just mostly do just that part of it, focusing on your in breath and the out breath. It just seems like so shallow. Okay, for 10 days I'll just be doing this thing of focusing on your breath. But when you do that with full intention, that is when you fully realize that this is the essence of life, being in this moment, because we are constantly stuck either in the past or in the future, constantly worried, thinking about something, one thing or the other. But that very art of being in the present moment, being with your breath, means so much.
Have you done Vipassana?
I'm not. I'm I booked it once, but for some reason I could not. I
Not
really
yet.
want to do it. Maybe sometime soon I will.
Okay, I did this year only, August.
Right. How was your experience? If we are not
Awesome.
diverting from the topic.
No, no, no. We are. This is the practical aspect of this chapter. So I can relate whatever you shared just now. Yes, this is the essence of life and the utmost peace which we can experience. Because the discipline is such and the whole ecosystem is designed in such a way, it helps you to achieve that state of mind. Okay, here is a simple analogy. सौरभ जी आपसे कंटिन्यू करते हैं.
Sorry, can you point me to which sentence we left off?
Last paragraph. Here is a simple.
Yeah, here is a simple analogy to help shed light on the mountaintop perspective. Imagine you and your friends watching a live soccer game on television at home. A player is running down the field with the ball towards the opposition's goal. A great opportunity opens up for his team if he passes the ball to a particular teammate who is perfectly positioned to score a goal. Everyone in the room yells, "Pass it to him, pass it to him." But he passes the ball to someone else who is not in as good a position to score. Hands clasped, head, hands clasped head, as everyone watching the game is flabbergasted by the move. "Oh, you idiot! He was completely open!" exclaims one of your friends. What is what is it that you and your friends were able to make a better decision than a professional player who gets paid millions of dollars to do this day in and out? This day in and day out. Well, it's a matter of perspective. Talented as the players may be, he can only see in front of him. You are viewing the game from a camera perched at the top of the stadium, giving you a mountaintop perspective on the field and all that was going on. From this vantage point, it was much easier to see what the better pass would have been. Similarly, a satellite hovering high above the Earth's surface, maintaining a mountaintop perspective, is able to be observant of so much more of what is going on down below than you would be able to in your car. The satellite's ability to see the big picture means it can tell you what lies ahead. Like the camera on the top of the stadium and the satellite orbiting the Earth, as you become more observant, your increased ability to focus, more information becomes apparent to you. The more information you have, the more informed you are, and the chances of you making a better decision increases. That said, the ability to make better decisions is not based on the amount of information you have, but rather on your ability to process that information wisely and aptly in a timely manner. Being observant, you are able to see the pitfalls and opportunities in your life. This does not mean you will always avoid those pitfalls and take those opportunities, but the fact that you are observant of them provides you with the countless possibilities to make choices that result in better outcomes. I cannot begin to tell you how many times I have observed pitfalls in my life, and despite observing them, have stepped into these messy life experiences. These have more to do with subconscious patterns that need to be adjusted. Problems are not problems, they are subconscious patterns that need to be adjusted. The first step in making these adjustments in your subconscious is to be observant of them. You can't change something that you are not observant of. This is another reason why learning to concentrate is so important. It helps you become more observant, thus allowing you to see the patterns within you that need adjustment and begin the process of doing so. Observation helps me to see the bigger picture, and because I can see the bigger picture, I have the possibility to make better decisions in my life. When I make better decisions, I have better outcomes. One of the byproducts of that is happiness, because I am creating a lifestyle for myself that results in my feeling happy. The power of observation is truly one of the great benefits of concentration.
आई थिंक इतना ही है ये। इसके बाद नेक्स्ट चैप्टर है वो नेक्स्ट डे करेंगे, डिमिस्टिफाइंग फोकस। तो कैसा एक्सपीरियंस रहा आपका आज का रीडिंग का ये?
अच्छा था, बहुत अच्छा था. I mean, it was. I don't think I've ever read with so much attention and focus ever. I can't focus too much on reading in general. I prefer audiobooks for the same reason. But आज in this forum, given the fact that it was also
It
being
is
streamed on
strange.
YouTube.
Some people say that they can focus more while reading a physical book. They can't focus to the audio book. But you are saying opposite thing.
Correct. It is the other way around for me always.
So it depends upon the kind of person we are. मतलब our
Again, I
subordinate,
think it's more about the kind of learner you are, kinesthetic learner, and all. I think there are
auditory, visual,
auditory, visual, all of that. But I think I'm more of a kinesthetic plus auditory. I don't know. Maybe.
right? तो इसने जी हाउ डू यू रिफ्लेक्ट अपॉन ऑल ऑफ दिस जो भी हमने आज पढ़ा? क्या एप्लीकेशन इसका हो सकता है, क्या रिफ्लेक्शन इसमें और हो सकता है? क्योंकि यू आर रिवाइजिंग दिस बुक वंस अगेन सिंस बिगिनिंग, तो कैसा लग रहा है उसमें, क्या एडिशन हो सकता है? और या फिर आप जो भी इस ग्रुप में लोग हैं जो रीडिंग कर रहे हैं उनको आप क्या कहना चाहते हो?
आ, नहीं तो अभी चैप्टर 2 तक हमने रिवीजन किया है कंप्लीट, आगे और करना है। और वाइल वी वर रीडिंग दी, इस सेशन में जब हम बुक रीड कर रहे थे तो काफी हमने आई थिंक कवर किया है, चैप्टर 4 5 6 तो कर लिया था। तो मतलब ऐसे कोहिनूर का हीरा बोलते कहीं कहीं छुपा होता है, पता नहीं होता है, तो वैसा है। देर आर लॉट ऑफ इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट्स जो एक बार समझ में आ जाए, जैसे टूल्स के लिए इसमें ये भी बोला है इन्होंने, ऑथर ने, कि वंस वी, जैसे एक कुछ नया आया उसमें नया फैड और उसके पीछे सब लोग चले जाते हैं, उसमें से कुछ जो टूल्स मिला है उसको अप्लाई नहीं करते। सो इफ अंटिल वी अप्लाई इट वी विल नॉट सी द डिफरेंस। So that is what is about this book. तो उसमें जो भी टेक्निक्स बता रहे हैं, एंड इट इज रिलेटिवली, अगर रिलेट कर रहे हैं तो टॉपिक वाइज, जैसे माउंटेन टॉप उन्होंने बोला कि माउंटेन टॉप व्यू, then we are able to see everything. Even in the morning when you decide or plan for the day, you have the overall view for your day, कि कब कब आपको क्या करना है, या फिर अच्छा, even if you break it into three parts, morning, afternoon, evening, so that helps to plan better. You are at the mountain top and now you can decide what all you can put in which areas.
ओके, इसी कॉन्टेक्स्ट में अगर हम ये बात देखें कि यू मार्क्ड योर क्लैरिटी इंडेक्स 8 out of 10 today, right? So
Yes.
how did you arrive at it 8 out of 10?
It's not always 8, but I would say
For today.
for today I could rate, because तो क्यूमुलेटिव इफेक्ट सब कुछ है मिला जुला के. सो इट इज प्रीवियस डेज इफेक्ट ऑफ वट एवर डिस्कशन वी हैड, हमारा कोचिंग सेशन का, एंड देन further whatever books we are reading. And since I have only few days left now for November and December, so I thought, okay, there is only this much time. So that sense of urgency, which was, although I was hearing urgency, sense of urgency, but until unless it strikes you, and it struck me hard. So that is how I could plan, and I could say that, okay, I have got some clarity. I think it is.
Hmm. Distraction. Okay. Saurabh ji, what are you reading these days? Anything you want to share? This is like open forum now.
I just started reading. I really loved this book, The Power of Now. The Power of Now. I heard, listened to that audiobook, I think at least 3, 4 times, fully end to end. There is another, I think, retreat session that I think Eckhart Tolle would have conducted. That audiobook, or rather, that entire program is titled "Really Realizing the Power of Now." So that is something I'm listening to these days, and it starts with the simple thing that uh, and the stillness with which he speaks. If you have heard him ever in any of his talks, he speaks it with a lot of stillness. You would feel that you want to listen to it maybe at 2x or 3x, but actually it is worth listening to even at lesser speed maybe. These and honestly, I'll tell you, I watch everything else on YouTube maybe on 1.5 or 2x, but these spiritual books, including Mindfulness in Plain English, The Power of Now, these are the books I would listen at 1.75x, because I want, because those words will really take you to a different realm if you really uh, understand the true value of that presence, not being your thoughts, being different from your thoughts. So he starts with saying that, I hope none of you is waiting for me to start the session, because there is we are here to let go the art of waiting itself, right? And
Hmm.
and he speaks a lot of these similar kind of things, and you start understanding what he's intending at when you listen to him very often. So yeah, that's a good book I'm trying to listen to right now.
लेकिन some people share their apprehension. They say कि I will become slow if I listen to such spiritual discourses, or if I do such practices, mindfulness, or all these things. I will be slow. And how will I perform at office?
It is the other way around, I believe, because by thinking too much at any point in time, right, you're not doing any favor to yourself. Rather, you tend to make a lot of mistakes, taking wrong decisions, and having a lot of clutter in your mind in general. You're not very sorted. Journaling, for example, is said to be, a technique which will help you reflect a lot and make you be at peace with your thoughts. Why? Because when you're writing your thoughts down, you're intentionally slowing the speed at which you are thinking. You're not just thinking randomly, you are actually jotting them down either on paper or on any digital platform. but you're actually typing it out or writing it with hands. So slower it is, the better it is for your mental health in that journaling aspect, right? Same stand holds true for any of these spiritual texts. It gives you in general more clarity, and if we are using our mental machine in the most optimal way, I think that will only give us the most outcomes. Faster is not more optimal in for mind, at least, is what I have started to believe.
Yes, Niazi, you have any question for him?
Contradictory to what I am understanding now. Because you start losing the person the more slower the person is talking. Unless there is a context or content. तो थोड़ा, which I am figuring out now. ऐसा होता है, sometimes we start thinking and talking, but then by that time the person finishes the sentence, the attention is gone of the audience. So
Right.
that is
What I intended to was not you speaking slow when you're speaking, but what Rahul was asking was about key, when you're consuming something which is slow or consuming spirituality in general, you become slow in life. That was what I was intending to say. But yeah, I mean, communication skills and speaking in a way which keeps the attention of your listeners, that is altogether a different aspect to look at. I in fact
okay.
listened to someone called Vin Yan. He's a Vietnamese guy. He talks a lot about communication, and I really follow him for the art of communication, at least. And yeah, he really talks about, how speaking fast and speaking loudly can actually keep the attention of your listeners. That's a different ball game altogether. What I was talking about when, someone like you're reading an audio book or listening to a spiritual talk, or from
Hmm.
someone like, Eckhart Tolle, who speaks very slowly, how
Okay.
that is going to, condition, or rather, program your mind into that journaling kind of a thought process. So
So,
not really intending to speak slowly, but how
but I'll
consuming.
have to listen to him to figure out how slowly he's speaking, because I don't have any idea about that.
Yeah, yeah.
And for that matter, Osho also. He also speaks in a way like little bit slower. Sadhguru has a little bit faster. So it depends upon, I think, purpose and kind of audience we have.
Hmm.
Okay. Saurabh you have any questions to Snehaji? Anything?
I don't know Snehaji enough right now to ask any questions, but in general about this book, I don't follow that group very often. I was free and I saw that group link, so I just joined here. So in general, if you can just maybe brief a bit about this overall uh, plan that you are into reading, and where have you started from, and where are we heading? If in general, if you can give a 2 minutes glimpse of the entire program.
So Rahul bhai, you will give or
आपको आपको बोलना है.
अच्छा. So we had started this book some time back, where so we keep sharing here. Before we started this book, we did finding your balance point, and after that, summaries of books we keep sharing here. Now here in this session, like live session that we are having today, we have had multiple such sessions and in different other channels also. So that is how we have reached till chapter 8 now, where what we were reviewing, what we were reading. So we have started revising it again because many people have missed it. So that is the reason. So this will continue until once we finish. Maybe it will be faster now since we are almost at the end of this book, actual reading. So revision also will now be faster. And in between, there will be some sharing of other books, short summaries that will be shared.
Like read every chapter in an hour of Zoom call or something like that?
So, like we had this session today, same way we have had sessions earlier, and that is how we have reached till here, till chapter 8. So entire book we have read, I think, in this session only. So sometimes even I have missed, but that is why we've started revision for people who have not been able to join this session, because it's a very important book.
So why we are reading all the chapters and all the pages of this book online? Because this is like a reflective reading. This book is not for information, but to absorb, to assimilate, to practice. So what we do, we read a bit, then we discuss, then we assimilate, we absorb, we give space to each other for reflection. So that kind of thing. So this book is just as a support system for us to reflect upon a theme or a practice. So that kind of thing. So this is an opportunity for all of us to come together, like you have come today. So this is the latent function of reading. So we always focus on latent functions of anything. So we still have 7-8 minutes. So anything, Saurabh, you would like to share? Anything other than books you are learning or you have learned in this year, particular 23?
Yeah, I mean, in general, life learning you're talking about,
This
or
is
only about spirituality?
anything.
Yeah, so I recently changed my jobs in this month only. So this month was my first month in my new job. Over the last 1 year, I would say I've learned a lot on communications in general. I was talking about this other guy because my day job requires me to present in large forums, in customer meetings, etc. So wherein I am required to be good at least communicating and speaking and keeping the audience engaged. So I started following few people. One of whom I mentioned, Vin Yan. He's a Vietnamese guy. He was a magician turned a communication coach. He gives shares very nice tips on how to communicate in a way which communicates your idea plus keeps the audience engaged, makes you someone whom people would want to listen to, and those kind of things. So that is something I'm focusing on. I'm learning a lot about my own stuff around technology selling. So some reading some books around that in general. Beyond that, what else? Yeah, I try to read one of the other mindfulness books here and there. I have a huge collection of physical books right now. I'm just trying to pick one and finish few of those. So my idea in general is, is especially after this chat GPT and all, and whenever I have to pick a book, I read a lot of summaries, listen a lot of YouTube summaries as well, listen to the TED talks of the author if at all there are any. So even before I pick up a book or decide whether I want to read a book, I would consume at least 2-3 hours worth of content on that book, just to maybe decide whether this book is good enough for me or not. And a lot of times that those 3 hours of content consumptions for me is as good as reading the book, and I never read that book, maybe, which is wrong on my part, but yeah, that is something which supports the way I am programmed to learn. So a lot of times I would feel that, when people share that I have read 52 big books this year, how to read 100 books in a year, I feel that I've never read, mostly never read a book cover to cover. But at the same time, I think it's also important to focus on the way that you understand learning, and or rather the way you are able to grasp what is the core content of whatever book or audio talk it is. So just being open to different formats of learning is okay as well. So it's not like you try to enforce that you have to read a book cover to cover only, then I'll grant myself the right to learn something. So I consume content in different formats, podcasts, audio summaries, whatever, and all of them I think have been helping me in general. Yeah, I
So
mean,
any good source for to listen podcast? Your
Google
recommendation?
Podcast was something I
Hmm.
used to
Talks at
with, but
Google.
I think that uh, Google Podcast itself is an app. I think podcast.google.com was the app. I think they're retiring that maybe by next year because they are shifting to YouTube Music podcast eventually. So yeah, I have not figured out any other way to do that. But I
Mhm.
have this Audible subscription also, so that way I get 1 credit every month, and sometimes I have 6 credits, and I have to just randomly pick 6 books to. And you can actually return books also on Audible and pick something else. So
Yes.
that way is that those are the two sources I would use, and YouTube obviously. And
So
on
you're
YouTube in general, you would get a lot of distraction as well again. So what I have started doing of late is I have certain subscription, subscribe to certain channels, and then there is a plugin called Unhook, which will remove all the home feeds. Only you'll see what you have subscribed to and whatever you search for. So you can only see the videos by the people you actually like, and something you actually search for without intention. There are a lot of thumbnails you can come across, and you just can lose a lot of time doing that. So I try to avoid doing that as much as possible by using some of those technical things.
so your go-to app for audiobooks is Audible.
Audible, always. Yeah.
Okay. What about Storytel?
Which one?
Storytel. Have you ever used it?
I've never used.
Okay, okay. Audible is also good, yes.
Yeah. YouTube also, you find a lot of audiobooks as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if you're using YouTube Premium, you can actually just listen to the video, not actually see it.
Yes. Okay, anything else? स्नेहा जी ओके, तो आज इतना ही करते हैं और आगे जर्नी कंटिन्यू करेंगे और कोशिश करेंगे सौरभ जी आ पाए तो अच्छा है। तो
Sure,
सौरभ
I'll
जी,
try to
आप
join.
आपका क्या टाइमिंग अवेलेबल रहता है मोस्टली, मतलब विच
This
डेज
time in general is
एंड
free for me, but when I'm in office, I would not be able to join. So whenever I am not in office, so this is generally lunchtime plus plus.
ओके,
So,
ठीक है जी, वी विल कीप यू इन लूप। ऑलराइट, स्नेहा जी, एनीथिंग यू वांट टू शेयर?
No, that's it.
ओके,
Thank
चलो, बहुत ही ऑसम प्रोडक्टिव सेशन रहा,
you.
वी हैड लॉट ऑफ इनसाइट्स। सौरभ भाई, आप वो शेयर कर देना वियतनामीज गाय का कुछ लिंक वगैरह इन द ग्रुप
yeah,
और
sure, I will.
Recently, subscribe. I mean, I have also subscribed Instagram. Full name I don't remember. Win
Yeah,
something.
Vinyan is how he pronounces it,
Yeah.
but spelling I also forgot. Yeah.
Is the communication. Yeah.
यस, ऑलराइट, मे बी वी विल सी यू टुमारो।